And just when you're talking, it just makes me think of all of the really phenomenal negotiators, mediators, that I know, and having watched them work, how incredibly different they all are. And for me, it really is more like, an assembly of kind of virtuoso musicians in a group that can either be playing rock or classical or whatever kind of music it is. So it's like the negotiation tactic is your skill at that instrument, and then the audience is you're tailoring the kind of music that you appreciate it to. Along those lines, I was wondering if you could just share a little bit with how you kind of found your authenticity and your style. Who did you observe? What classes, what books were most important for you as you are kind of coming into your own and figuring out how to make that the most powerful or a really powerful aspect of what you're able to accomplish in a negotiation?
Well, what I'll say is that before I read a book on negotiations, the first person to tell me to be my authentic self was my mother. When I was a child, my mother told me that I could be whoever I wanted to be, and it was something that always resonated with me. I never. So as a child, growing up in Washington, D.C., my mom always encouraged me to be who, she said, be who you are. And I said, okay. So it was something that I always felt comfortable doing. I got that message again, and this is not in my book. When I was in college, there was a resident director. I went to Spelman in Atlanta, Georgia, an amazing, amazing, amazing institution. And there was a resident director. And just imagine like being a freshman, going away for school, and there's so many people who are amazing and wonderful, and you're just trying to find your way, right? Just in general, as being in a new place, new location, all of this. And I remember her just saying, she said her exact words, if I had to quote her, was like, be who you are, because if anyone hates you, they hate you because, they ain't you. And I was like, I love that so much. It was like very short and pithy, but it was so apropos because that's exactly, it made me feel, and it made all of us who heard this speech feel like, even in this situation, you could still be yourself and you don't have to worry about conforming to make friends or to find new groups of people to hang out with, because the way you find your true group is to be your true self, right? And that's how you'll
Yeah.
find people who are like you. And so the first opportunity for me to hear someone say, be who you are, was my mom. I heard it again later in life. And by the way, my grandmother, who hailed from South Carolina, my maternal grandmother, would always say something similar.